Kuwa askari OCS ile mwenye anafanya kazi ile nitakana nianze kutumia dawa nifutwe, kwa sababu kuna wale wenye tumefanyia rehabilitation for so long. These people amekula pesa ya serikali, amekuwa rehabilitated, anarudi bado yeye ni mlevi, bado anatumia drugs. Hiyo pesa ya kufanyia rehabilitation si askari. Kuna vijana wengi sana who are ready to work for the service, so waandikwe watumie hiyo pesa wakuje wafanye hii kazi. Let me beat my trumpet, Wasiri, and I know your peer is aware of this. And even DAG Masengeli is aware of this. I was in a station for a period of 7 months. Hiyo station cocaine na heroin ilikuwa hajawahi kamatwa. Mimi nilikamata. I used my intelligence networks nikakamata. Later on the cartels wakasema huyu tutaua ama tutampiga. Kisii County is growing very fast. Kisii County, you look at the population of Kisii County, we need intelligence policing. We need to embrace the use of technology in policing in Kisii County. Waziri, with your good office, I know you are capable of bringing the integrated command control center in Kisii. Apparently, we are embracing technology when you do our patrols in supervision and what have you. We use WhatsApp groups initiated by the top leadership of this county. But it's the highest time Kisii County, IC3 center is brought to Kisii County to assist in crime management, Waziri. Without much ado, those are the only views that I had. Thank you very much, Waziri.
Very much. Thank you. And they are very important. You are very generous because you say it 6 times. I think 6 is a lot. As the last one.
Thank you, sir. My name is Inspector Peter Indeche, Deputy OCS Igonga Police Station, Kisii South. Sir, ningependa kushukuru kwa sababu I've been in the service for the last 36 years. Hatujawahi kuwa na mikutano kama hii. So thank you so much for coming down na kuongea na sisi. Jambo la pili, ningependa pia kushukuru sana kwa sababu uko mstari wa mbele kutetea polisi. Hata wakati mambo yalikuwa yamechacha sana, ulisimama na sisi. Ingawaje watu wengine walichukulia kwa njia nyingine, lakini I remember ukisema ya kwamba hizo punduki ambazo tunabeba sio mandasi, it is true. Thank you so much kusoma na sisi, sir. Na upande wa our stations, most of our stations sisi tuko squatters. We don't have title deeds. Most of our stations zinakaa kwa private land. Na kila wakati tunakumbusha kwamba mnajua hapa sio kwenu, mnaweza enda wakati wowote. So tunaomba ya kwamba tupate utafutie shamba ambalo tunaweza tukachengewa stations, tunapokaa tukae tukijua kwamba tuko mahali ambapo pako safe. Jambo lingine kwa upande wa welfare ya officers, tuko na officers ambao maybe wamefika 50 years, wanataka wafanye kazi nyumbani. Sheria inasema ya kwamba mtu akifika 50 years anaweza kuapply. Ningeomba ya kwamba any officer ambaye ameapply ya kwamba aende kufanyia kazi nyumbani so that a prepare his or her retirement karibu na nyumbani, awe allowed. Sio kwamba ana apply then inapotea hivyo au sikii chochote. And then lastly, sir, upande wa promotion, OCS ameongea kwamba lazima tuwe na mikakati ya promotion. Najua kwamba these officers wanajulikana zaidi hapo chini kufikia division level. So unakuta kwamba watu wanafanya board mpaka headquarter. Mtu amekuwa recommended kwa division, amekuwa recommended kwa county, amekuwa recommended kwa region. Ikifika headquarter unaambiwa kwamba you don't qualify. So tunashindwa, huyu mtu amekuwa recommended all the way na huko chini anajulikana, kwa nini akataliwa huko juu? So at least to motivate these officers, at least promotion zipeanwe huko chini, ikiwezekana hata upande wa division ndiye anajulikana zaidi. Thank you so much, sir.
Do you really still have something to say? Ile tofauti? Okay, 1 minute only. Okay, the last one. That's the last person.
of guests, Sir Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. Mine is different. I only have 3 issues. Number 1 is issue of Jukwaa Usalama. Indeed, this is a new approach, a new model that is aimed to assess the security situation in our areas. Secondly, issue of medical covers. The medical cover we have for the NPS is very hectic, and we have limited resources. That's 1,500, and unpaid claims for the officers, and the delayed of claims. So I request your office to look on that. This medical cover also need to be supervised. The insured should supervise this medical claim. Another issue is WIBA cover. The issue of WIBA cover is only for the Work Injury Benefit Act. This act is only focused on 2 issues. Number 1 is the accident, and number 2 is occupational diseases. So I request from your office that you look this WIBA Act, you include for the political violence, those who have been killed or have become victims of political violence or terrorism. The other issue is issue of Itago and Nyamarambe sub-counties. We have issue of collection of prisoners from the prison department. So we go to the prison to collect prisoners. And I think the leadership of the prison are here. We can address this issue so that our main job is only to take prison accused suspect to the court, not to pick from the prison. So with that few words, I say thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. And that should make the now and the other team, sub-county team, you don't repeat most of the things that they have raised. I will give our majority whip, Mheshimiwa Osoro, 1 minute. You can go to the podium.
Thank you very much, Waziri. DIG, Papa Masengeli, and all protocols observed. My name is Silvana Osoro. I'm a member of Parliament for South Mogrango and the Majority Whip of the National Assembly. Waziri, this is very crucial. It couldn't have come any, there is no better time. I think we tried, we were a bit late, but let me say there is no better time than this that God has provided for us to have this engagement. You may be surprised, Waziri, I'll speak in 2 fronts. I have gone through the police training. Unlike what most of you know about me. And I know much about the police, and then now I am in the legislature part. So when I speak, I'll speak in the 2 fronts. Many challenges of the security officers, Waziri, boil down to one thing: morale. Morale in every sector. Because these officers are doomed when they do, they are doomed when they don't. They are like goalkeepers. No matter how many goals they are able to stop from, their opponent from scoring, people will remember that one particular incident that the ball passed through, whether it's by accident or by design. And that is why the officers sometimes face a lot of challenges. Right from their salary, back to their workstations, frustrations from their families and everything. There are so many things that the officers go through. But I'll single out now that we have senior officers, and I didn't really hear any of them speak about it, especially on our stations. We have a challenge of strength. Big one. A station, I don't know whether somebody spoke, but you get a station, a large station that covers a huge area of jurisdiction, has got very minimal officers. But I'm happy that there is recruitment that is going to happen in another 2 or 3 weeks, which will cap that. But when you do that, Waziri, please remember the area of Kisii. It is largely understaffed. Largely understaffed. And you can see, like a village slum, overly populated, So we really need such. 2, mobility. There is a challenge of mobility in our stations. I think my OCS in one of the stations is here and can tell you, I mean, I've seen several times they are pushing their vehicles along the way, and sometimes we rescue them. And I mean, really embarrassing, and it's not really a very good situation. When I get back to the question of morale, Waziri, these officers did a very good job to curb the large protests that were witnessed in this country sometimes last year. If I remember well, and because of the network within the service, in the last regime, there is what we used to call a non-allowance for the officers. If that can actually be seen for these officers, it will boost their morale so much. They know what I mean, so I think yes. But again, there is a growing lack of coordination there now, and this is the challenge, between Ngao officers and the police service. It's largely attributed, Waziri, to now the autonomy of the police service. And you know, you find the DC is chairing a security meeting, but you know the OCPD could be having a larger AIE than now that DC. If there is a way that coordination can be done, that they are harmonized in either side, so that there is utmost respect. Because I have seen myself, Waziri, a chief from my area, and I'm sure the chief is here, being dragged by a constable from the crowd, you know, to end a statement. And he was holding a barasa. An old man left with 2 years to retire, you know. And the good thing is that I was in that area, and I engaged the officer. I told him, I mean, really, you can't do this. You could summon this officer, because how then do you want this guy to even summon or to call the baraza tomorrow? People will not respect him. That needs to be harmonized. There is a disconnect. And I must agree with what some chiefs said here, where sometimes a chief arrests, we have a few elements within the police service. A chief arrests a drunkard, takes them to the station, anarudishwa na yeye. Officer anasimama hapa anamwambia rudi. Enda tafuta njia nyingine, ama anamweka ndani kidogo, then anamwambia huyu unajua chief haona akili. Wacha you know, it is embarrassing sometimes. This is sometimes very embarrassing. But more importantly, within the service, again, the challenge that we have again, please reintroduce refresher courses for the police officers. Some of the police officers, especially the junior ones, because they can hardly go to the ranges. The last time they went or they shot, they used a gun is when they were in college. And some mistakes that are done, they cannot actually eye the bullseye, because they've even forgotten to use sometimes those serious armories that have actually come lately. So we need to think through that line. And finally, to the officers, there is a new world order, like you know. There is the question of AI, artificial intelligence. Please also acquaint yourself to the current facts that crimes are being organized within the space. And as we even think through that line, even as they talk about mobility, I think it's about time that also government gives the security officers maybe these gadgets, like you can smartphones and something like that, so they can be able to acquaint themselves to the AI and within the system.
Thank you.
Ya mwisho kabisa nimemaliza, Waziri, ni kusema ya kwamba unajua area yangu hii ya Etago na Kucha South, watu waache kuita hiyo area hardship. Ati ukipandishiwa unapelekwa huko. You know, they say from the county, from the region, wewe nitakutuma Etago. Kwani hii Etago iko namna gani? Kila mtu akisema nitakutuma Etago. Etago is where I come from. That is my home. I am the majority whip. Please. Hiyo sio area ya kupeleka watu ati tazino pata walevi ndio wamejaa huko. Mtu ofisa ametumwa kutoka sijui hapa town ati amekuwa mlevi, sasa anapelekwa Etago. Mimi nikipita napata ofisa. That is very bad. So I think that is it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Now proceed RC.
Thank you, sir. Ngetich, please.
Our guest of honor, sir, the CS Interior, our DIG, who is also a friend of police officers, regional police commanders, county police commanders, all protocols, hamjambo. My name is Eling Etich, Sub-County AP Commander, Kisii Central. Sir, let me start by appreciating the opportunity that you are giving us in terms of coming to this Jukwaa Usalama, for that we can discuss issues pertaining security. Two is to affirm and reaffirm our commitment as APS fraternity in fighting crime within Kisii, and say we will not relent until that is achieved. Three, let me respond to your question that you posed to us. And you said, what will we do in Kisii to fight issues to do with robbery, issues to do with major crimes? And I'm proposing, if possible, that we engage a team, and maybe you can call Rapid Crimes Response and Action Team within Kisii, to follow up on every crime that is reported and be able to deliver their reports within 3 months. I believe we'll be able to move forward in that manner. Housing, Kisii Central, part of our houses were built in pre-independence era, you can imagine. And to date, nothing has been done. Those houses have been declared not fit for officers, yet we still live there. We kindly request, sir, if possible, through the affordable housing program we put up, because we have a land. On motor vehicles, Kisii Central, we have 2 unserviceable. If they were serviceable, we would be performing much more better. How I wish, sir, that we respond to that, and you accord us the opportunity to have other vehicles for us to be able to respond to issues very fast. A colleague of mine talked about involving digital space on security management. In Kisii, we have what we call Back Street in town. We also have Kisii University, and called Kisumundogo. A lot of crimes happening there. If you can be able to engage digital platform, where even the county police commander sitting in his office can be able to tell what is going on, I believe we'll be moving a step further. On matters personnel, yes, but the issue is, where did the rain start beating us? By not recruiting at some point. I suggest, if possible, that does not miss an opportunity to bring officers on board each and every year. That way, our numbers will be sufficient for us to move forward. As I end, sir, the issue of land rights and land issues are so emotive. We have lands in Kisii belonging to National Police Service, basically the APS, in Nyamache, in Kisii Central, in Etago, in Masaba South, but we have not processed them. Kindly, sir, if you can support us to process them and own them, I believe in future we'll be having spaces to be able to develop. With those few remarks, let me end and say thank you very much, and may God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngetich. We now move to the prison, and I would like to invite Madam Jane Oyo, SSP, to address the gathering.
Our CS, Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, all protocols observed, good afternoon. SSP Jenoyo, standing in for Kisii Command. Kisii Command has 2 prisons. Some people were asking me if there's a women prison. We have Kisii Men and Kisii Women. Sir, today in the morning, our population was 1,700 inmates and 13 children, accompanying their mothers into prison, sir, against staff population of 546, sir. Sir, allow me to appreciate the uniforms that the officers received. You said that we are smart, but Kisii prison officers are smarter than these people here, sir. And the uniforms, sir, was stitched by our own inmates, and they are fitting. I think if you can see my county commander, county prisons commander, is there, sir. He's very smart. Thank you, sir. The officers also appreciate, sir, promotions that we have experienced throughout the rank. In Kisii Command, I think there's no old officer without a rank, sir. And that has boosted their morale so much. They've also appreciated the salary increment. We received information from, official information from our head office that we'll get something, sir, very soon, and we don't take it for granted. Sir, Kisii prison has been calm. We don't have any incident, no escape. This is due to various rehabilitation programs that we have, and you find that the officers are with the inmates throughout the day. And then we also have good coordination and collaboration, sir, with the multi-agency team that enable us to operate well, sir. Apart from that, sir, I just want to mention 2 or 3 challenges. One is housing. So majority of the staff from Kisii Command are residing outside. And then there's a building that prison staff contracted out. It has 60 units, sir. It's 70% complete. We are requesting if it can be completed, sir, so that some officers can move in. We'll appreciate. The population, sir, as you've been told, is 1,700. That's not a small number, against 546, sir. We are requesting, sir, we be provided with CCTV, sir, so that, and metal detectors, sir, to enhance our security. Officers are also requesting, sir, that their medical cover be comprehensive. Yes, sir. Despite those few challenges, sir, the officers are committed and they are playing their role as per the mandate of the institution. Thank you, sir.
Makofi kwake. So next I will invite Mr. Etiang, SP Etiang, who is the sub-county CIO for Kisii Central. Welcome, Mr. Etiang.
Our chief guest this afternoon, Honorable CS for Interior. With utmost respect, allow me to align myself with the protocols already established. I'm George Etiang, Sub-County Criminal Investigations Officer, Kisii Central. First and foremost, Honorable CS, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for finding time from your busy diary to come and talk to us and listen to us on issues that affect us. Many issues have been talked and I will not repeat them, but I will just pass very fast across them. The issue of motor vehicles. Kisii County has 11 sub-counties and only 6 sub-counties have motor vehicles. 5 do not have motor vehicles. So we are forced to share these motor vehicles, and as a result of sharing, the fuel gets depleted even before 20th of the month, and we have to wait until the month begins for us to address operational issues that we ought to have addressed when all the sub-counties had vehicles. So we appeal that at least the other sub-counties are furnished with the motor vehicles. Number 2, we operate in old buildings which were built more than 50 years ago. The roofs are leaking, and sometimes when even statements are being recorded and it is raining, the rain rains to the officers and the people who are our customers, that is. So by extension, even service delivery is affected. The area member of parliament allocated some funds to us. That's more than 1 year ago, but the CDF office has been taking us left, right, center. But because he's here, I'm sure he'll be able to push that agenda. Number 3, we have the issues of politicians in this county infiltrating the transport sector, especially the border sector. We have one faction allied to this politician, the other borders are allied to another politicians. So whenever there are political campaigns, we always witness very ugly confrontations, bloody confrontations. But whenever they have occurred, we have always handled them very firmly and fairly. The other issue, Waziri, is the issue of community policing. This is a thorny issue in this county, which many people don't like to talk about it, but it's good to bite the bullet. Most members of the former proscribed Chingororo, Amachuma, are hiding in those community policing. And they're also used by some politicians. They are not doing a very, most of them are not doing a very good job whenever they are used by politicians to unleash mayhem, atrocities to the perceived opponents. So it is my recommendation that this group be vetted afresh, and maybe they report to the sub-county commander as we do the National Police Reserve. The other thing, Honorable Waziri, is the issue of affordable housing. We request that, because we are aware that the government is about to construct some affordable housing at the prison ground, we request that some units be constructed within the police lines so that officers can be able to stay in the police lines. Sometimes at night, when there's an emergency, it is very hard for the commanders to assemble officers within the shortest period to respond to an emergency. But when they're all in the police station, it will be very ideal. Last but not least, we have the problem with land matters in Kisii, where if cases are not investigated expeditiously, it will escalate into something else. You may investigate a murder case at a later stage. So it is our appeal, Waziri, that the land records be digitized, especially areas like Kisii, so that when cases are reported, within 2-3 weeks, you are able to complete that investigation and identify the wrongdoers and arraign them to court without due delay. Thank you so much, Waziri.
Thank you so much. With your permission, sir, I now wish to invite the OCPD Kisii Central, SP Musa Imamai.
Okay, our chief guest this afternoon, is the CS Interior, our senior officers, my colleagues, opinion leaders who have come over. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon once again. Now, much has been spoken this afternoon regarding our forum here today. But first and foremost, I would want to take this opportunity to thank our chief guest for enabling these forums, which, according to me, is like a mentorship program to us, that we can also still cascade what has been brought to us to the officers under us. Number two, I would want to compliment our CS for what he has brought to us so far. 2 days ago, we have received signals for promotions destined for all cadres of officers, from constable up to the inspector. Something which I think is mentorship, and is also reducing the levels of stress and the stress that our officers are going through. Much has been mentioned by my colleagues, but I just want to say one thing. In regard to insufficient transport and mobility assets that have been spoken about, I want to say that for those who have had a long service in the Kenya Police Service, or the National Police Service, that's to say, initially we had designated workshops in all sub-counties, which were operational, and they were serving departmental vehicles. But with the introduction of leased vehicles to the service, I think all the workshops have gone down, and we do not have personnel, we do not have the spares which were there. So it is my request that if we can be able to bring back or to reintroduce these workshops, because apart from the list, the vehicles that we have under lease, we still have a departmental vehicles which can be serviced at these workshops where we have DTOs, and we can have mechanics, and we can even source mechanics from maybe the national service, national youth service, and they can still serve that purpose. Number two, there's an issue on the issue of infrastructure that we have mentioned. If we have to improve the police stations and maybe the infrastructure we have at police stations, then we also need to take care of the whole infrastructure the way it is. We have some stations which were constructed and they were completed, but without water. So we have a whole station, but without what? Without service with the water, which could still be availed and as a social amenity that is a requirement at police station. We need to do everything so that whatever is done from the word go is completed. Three, with issues which I know sub-counties, the 11 sub-counties are going through, and it is the issue of dealing with the orders, the eviction or court orders which are issued every now, particularly in relation to land disputes or boundary disputes that we have. We introduce a system where we go through an administrative. After a court order has been issued, we go through an administrative system to, first of all, verify whether the court order originates from the court. And then through our own system in the National Police Service, procedurally, we have to take it through the security committees starting from the sub-county, county, regional, up to the headquarters. It is a tedious process that maybe we need to revisit so that once the court order is issued, maybe the court should complete everything and even visit the sites so that we avoid the procedural or bureaucratic process that we go through before the process is undertaken. Finally, I want to mention something on the criminal justice system. In the whole of Kisii County, the 11 sub-counties that we have, we only have 3 courts. And these courts are serving a bigger population, where the crime rate, as we have mentioned, and as you know, my colleagues, is that it's sometimes high, particularly on petty crime that we have to take to courts every day. So we request that if we can devolve these courts beyond the 3 that we have, even up to 6 or 8 in 8 sub-counties, then it is better. It will also reduce the time that we spend and the financial constraints that we go through in terms of fuel and the vehicles that are limited in our stations. Finally, as I finish, in response to the training that we have mentioned, is that for the officers who have been there before, we used to have, then they were called provisional training centers, PTCs. They could be regional training centers now. But with an increase in the population of our officers who need the training, I think we also need to develop training first of all, we need to promote the training, because that is a major problem we have. We do not have in-service training so far the way it used to be. And that is why we don't have many officers going even for either upgrading preparatory courses or discipline courses. But if we need to develop these training centers even up to the county levels, so that we address our issues from the county level, and it is easier for every county commanders to deal with the training of the officers as need be. In a nutshell, I think much has been mentioned, and I know it has been shared. And as I conclude, I just want to say that the sub-county commanders that we have here also operate under difficult conditions that limit also effective service delivery. And that the stated operational challenges that we have addressed on security, if they can be addressed, can also encourage to build a public trust and overall effectiveness of officers serving in the National Police Service. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Please clap for the OCPD Kisii Central. The last person, sir, in this category is the DCC Kitutu Central, Mr. Edwin Juma Walela. And in the meantime, all the other speakers, please come forward. You know yourselves, please come forward.
Good afternoon, sir. Our guest of honor, the Minister, the CS for Interior and National Administration. My name is Juma Edwin Walela, DCC Kitutu Central. I'm here to speak on behalf of the DCCs. Most of the issues have been highlighted. Maybe I'll only go over them to emphasize. I think we thank you. Thank you. Maybe on the training, I have to emphasize that we have the chiefs who are doing a lot of arbitration in the land issues. And some of these issues, they arbitrate, but after some time, it still comes up again, especially for the land issues that have succession issues. My request is that maybe we can have a course on mediation so that chiefs and all Ngao can be accredited as mediators so that they can even mediate these issues, and maybe they are taken to court for adoption and confirmation of grants are issued so that people are given the land owners so that we can reduce the land disputes. I want also to request that as you do the promotions, you consider other cadres in the office. We have the office assistant, we have the clerical officers, we have the drivers and office administrative assistants. As a ministry, we have been losing this staff to other ministries because of stagnation, and it is high time that we consider them for promotion and their causes especially that they can be motivated. Sir, you requested us that we give our views on the issue of border, and I'm the DCC Kitutu Central and Kisii Central. I want to say that the borders in Kisii County are very calm, except for the municipality where we have had issues. And we have had several meetings, and last week we had a stakeholders meeting, and we recommended that we reorganize the border from the sub-location level, so that we have the leadership of the border from the sub-location level up to the county level, so that if the issues is at the location level, the chief can address with the leadership at the location. At the sub-county, we address the issues of border at the sub-county, and at the county, they address using the county leadership of border. Because most of these associations that are here are political associations, because the way they were formed, they are aligned to politicians. On the issue of succession, what I have said, if we had the chief to arbitrate these cases and maybe take it to court for adoption and confirmation, so that the people can get the land documents. Because most of the people in Kisii and all over the country, some of them, the lands that they own and call their lands are registered in the grandfathers or parents. So you find that the chief resolved this land issue. After sometimes one of the family members says the land to another person, another dispute comes up, and then the circle goes on. So if we can have a way, and we have our members of parliament here. We request that if they can present that to court so that we don't concentrate the succession causes to court. Because some of them, they take even 5 years, 10 years. The person who started the succession dies, and then you have to look for another administrator to restart again the process. So if we can use the administrator so they can arbitrate and the resolutions adopted and confirmation of grant given so that titles are issued to the owners, it will reduce the land disputes that we have. We also request that we decentralize other government agencies that support on the fight of illicit brew, because we have had issues. The officers have spoken here that the illicit brew is supposed to be taken to government chemists for testing. The illicit brew that we have today is not the illicit brew that was there before. So easy, they are using what they call freezer. Now freezer, it cannot stay, after staying for some time, it loses the alcohol content. When it goes to, the delay for testing takes place, it is declared that it is not alcohol. So we request that this government chemistry can be decentralized to the sub-county, to the county, and also other agencies like KRA, NACADA, government chemists, CAPES can be decentralized so that we have a team that can verify and work out so that these cases are completed early, so that we don't have those issues. I think there are other issues were raised, but sir, I want just to request that in the Kisii County we have 2 sub-counties that do not have vehicles, and I emphasize that if possible we can have an extra vehicle in every sub-county, because if the DCC vehicle that he uses breaks down, the DCC might stay without a vehicle for 2 months, 3 months because of the nature of mechanical problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please appreciate Mr. Walela. So a representative of the village elders has requested to speak first. He would like to go somewhere, so welcome.
Mgeni wa heshima ambaye ni CS wetu. I hear them call me Samson Mauto Nyamoko, an elder from the Abagusi Elders Council, advisor to the Omogusi Elders Council. Kwanza nashukuru serikali yetu, and we as elders, we cannot shy to say that this is the government that we belong to.
For the chiefs, if you take a health break, let's quietly and come back. And I don't know wenye wako nje huko wanaota nini. Kuna jua ingine iko huko nje. I thought all the chiefs were sitting inside until nimeona mmejipanga nje.
So Bwana Waziri, ukienda nianzie hapo. Salamu zetu kwa wingi kwa rais wetu. Na umshukuru tulipokuwa State House, Mheshimiwa Chanda, unakumbuka kubeba projects kuingiza Kisii. Mwambie asanta, na tumeona mengine yameanza kutendeka. Hakuchukua muda. Mengi ambayo wananchi wamezungumza hapa, ningekuomba kwanza nikushukuru. There was a border crash over the other end. Ulijitolea ukakaa pale kama mwanaume. Na kuna peace sasa. Umachoge Borabu na Kilgol sites. But I request you, after the peace making, everybody went away. We need to interact with these people. Can you initiate a cultural festival, cultural festival between the Maasai and the Abagusi? Akina Mheshimiwa Chanda waingie pale, uwe guest speaker. Kama utakosa hera, tutakusanya, interact na wale wa jamaa, hata intermarry, ndio peace isambaze. Ama ni aje? As a cultural messenger, when people interact in such activities, you establish peace. Na hiyo isiende beyond December. Kuna jambo tuliongea hapa, mheshimiwa waziri, mambo ya administrative unit. Kwanza kabla ya hayo, nataka nikuambie hii county yetu tuko na amani tele. Siogopi kumshukuru bwana county commissioner wetu hapa. Ametuweka pamoja, tunaongea sauti moja na hakuna mfutano hapa. Aendelee kutuongoza vivyo hivyo. Tunamshukuru mbele yako. Sasa kuna administrative units hapa Kisii. Kwa mfano Bomachoge Church, we were given a division in the year 2017. Tukatangaziwa kupatiwa DO. Hatu wa sasa. Na leo umetutangazia kwamba kuna wale wametrain. And the answers are at your fingertips. Utubakishie moja hapa leo, aende Bomachoge Church. Because you have the powers. Na hizi administrative units, Sabo Machoge Church, hiyo division na location, tangu 2017 gazeti tu bwana honorable minister. Hawa Machoge Church si wana Kenya. And you have the powers as a minister. Announce today that the administrative units for Gucha activated. Ama ni aje wananchi, si huyu ndiye mambo yote. Tena tuende Nairobi kutafuta na hako hapa. Na mtomo huko hapa. Na karamu iko hapa. Amua hiyo tuende nayo. Mwisho, sitaki kuongea mengi. Mambo ya suicide. Hiyo mambo rape. Bwana waziri, ulituambia kwa nini mauaji Kisii hapa, kwa nini sisi wa Kisii hatuna wachawi. What is happening here are just cultural issues. If addressed, hautasikia watu kuwawa. How does it happen? Wengi wetu hapa wanakaa na watoto Nairobi. Hata hawajui kuongea Kisii. Hawajawahi kuona mama ambaye ameseeka. Hawajawahi kuona mzee mkongwe. Sasa akiletwa na hiyo Kiswahili yake, hana Kisii, akiona mama mkongwe ambaye amepatirisha skin, anamuona kama mchawi. These are cultural issues that we can address amongst ourselves. La mwisho, naona madam nataka kuninyang'anya, niachie mawili tu nimalize. La mwisho, karibu na mwisho. Samani hapa Kisii, tukienda Chandon, circumcision. There was time that the young ones could be trained how to face the outside world. Siku hizi ni hospitali. Hata wamama wanachukua vijana hospitali kwenda kukatwa. Tusiporudisha ile hali ya watoto wetu kufundishwa, haya mambo yataendelea. That's why I said this is a cultural issue that we can address ourselves. Mwisho niondoke ni kwamba mambo ya machiefs hawa. I request you as a minister, Honorable Minister, there was the so-called Chiefs Act. Hii Chiefs Act iling'olewa. Machiefs hawa na madio wakabaki kibogoyo. Hawana meno. As a minister concerned, wamelia hapa nikisikia. Why don't you prepare a bill? Ama ni petition, wewe unajua, wewe ni lawyer, wewe ni politician, you know all of those. Uandike wasungumusiwe hawa, wacha na act ambayo hata itasaidia hawa. Wapatiwe hata meno mbili tu, achana na hii 32. Wapatiwe hata mbili, mbili tu, si 10. Mwisho na kushukuru, kukuambia come now and then. But remember, bwana DIG, I went to a station called Mrs. Police Station. Mrs. And hii Mrs. is bordering South Gucha, Kisii South, Sameta. I was surprised, Honorable Minister, that the police in charge, I don't know, on duty, alikuwa anatumia ile, kuna sanduku ile kubwa Mheshimiwa Chanda, sijui wanaita Amari Box, sijui wanaita jina gani, ati ndio alikuwa anatumia kama mesa kuandika nini? Kuandika statement. Nikajiuliza, hii ni Kenya? Na hapo message watu ndio wanakula marisasi. Watu wamekula marisasi hiyo message. Bwana IG, si ukitoka hapo acha gari moja huko message. Hiyo mambo ishi. Ama ni aje? Na ingine niliona Nyakoe hapa Kitutu Nyakoe, ambapo OCS seli yake ni ya mbao.